What's up everyone, my name is Nick. I've been living in Malaysia for the past 10 years, but I'm originally from the Netherlands. So today I'd like to share with you a bit about the history of the Dutch here in Malaysia. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up and enjoy. Malaysia and the Netherlands are two very different countries, and they are very far apart from one another. If you go in a direct line, it's approximately 10,000 kilometers in distance. Now, both of these countries have a very rich history of their own, but today we'll be looking at the historical connection between these two nations. In this video, I'll be sharing with you about how the Dutch colonized parts of West Malaysia, and I'll also be sharing some interesting facts about the significance the Dutch might have had in Malaysian Borneo. So let's start by looking at what happened all those centuries ago in Western Malaysia in a town called Malacca. Did you know that the Dutch ruled Malacca the longest compared to any other foreign nation? So the Dutch ruled Malacca for over 183 years. To understand what happened, we have to go back all the way to the year 1511. This was the year that the Portuguese conquered Malacca from the Malacca Sultanate. For 130 years, the Portuguese ruled Malacca as it was a very important port in Asia. So they transformed Malacca to a powerful fortress to control the Malacca Strait and all the spice trade in the area. Then, after 40 years of trying to conquer the fortress from the Portuguese, the Dutch East India Company was finally successful with the help of their allies, the Sultanate of Johor. So now, it is January in the year 1641, and the Dutch officially colonized Malacca as part of the Dutch East India Company, or the Verenigd Oost-Indische Compagnie in Dutch. Now, this was a company that did a lot of trading, especially in spices, here in Asia. For the coming 183 years, the Dutch ruled Malacca. Now, they expanded this fortress that the Portuguese built to protect their harbor. They also expanded the city and built a lot of new buildings, and some of these buildings can still be seen today. One of the most prominent buildings in Malacca that still stands today is the Stadthuys, which translates to City Hall in Dutch. This building was built in 1650, and it is thought to be the oldest building that the Dutch had ever built here in Asia that still exists. Another remnant of the Dutch colony in Malacca can be seen in the St. Paul's Church. So there is a couple of these old gravestones of Dutch dignitaries that the public can still see today. Alright, so that kind of summarizes the Dutch significance in West Malaysia all those centuries ago. Now, I'd like to share a bit about a piece of history that you might not know of, where the Dutch had an impact on another part of Malaysia. As you might know, the Dutch conquered large parts of Asia, including Indonesia, in the 16th century. And in the 18th century, the Dutch East India Company moved into western parts of Borneo. As the Dutch moved further into Borneo, they ran into other foreign settlers as well. And one of these included the Hakka Chinese that came down years before that to dig for gold. Of course, the Dutch East India Company also wanted some gold, so they started driving out these Chinese settlers. This resulted in 3 wars called the Kongsi Wars. After these wars, the Dutch were finally successful in conquering these gold mines and all these large parts in Western Borneo. Now, these events led to other events which had a big impact on Sarawak, which is now part of Malaysia. Here's the story. Liu Shan Bang was born in 1800 in Guangdong, China. He moved over to Sambas in Western Borneo and started working in the gold mines when he was 20 years old. Now, he worked for the Dutch in these gold mines, and he felt mistreated by the Dutch East India Company. So he decided to move up north to current-day Bau and start digging for gold there. As he arrived in the mining town of Mau San, as it was called then, he set up a company called the 12 Kongsi. This company started digging for gold, and they soon became very prosperous. They even had their own currency, and they claimed to be a self-governing republic. A couple years later, Sir James Brooke arrived in Sarawak and became the White Rajah. Now, he started imposing taxes on Mau San, the mining company. Liu Shan Bang did not agree with this. He started a rebellion. He brought 600 rebels up the Sarawak River to Kuching with the goal to kill James Brooke. During the attack, James Brooke actually managed to escape, and only a handful of Europeans were killed. A lot of properties were burned down, and the Chinese rebels thought they found James Brooke, which was actually a 17-year-old boy who they beheaded, and they paraded his head on a pole throughout the city. Now, Liu Shan Bang was actually lucky to sit in the throne of James Brooke, so he was actually, potentially, Rajah for a day. Of course, James Brooke was not happy. He retaliated, and together with his Malay supporters, his Gibbon warriors, he chased down Liu Shan Bang up the Sarawak River and eventually shot him dead. A few of the rebels survived and fled back to their Mau San village. The White Rajah's Gibbon forces chased them down and eventually killed 3,000 people in the village. These included women, children, and old folks. It is believed that they left their bodies to rot, and of course this became very smelly, and they then changed the name of the town to Bau, which means smelly or smell in the local language. To sum it up, there is indeed a lot of history between the Netherlands and Malaysia. Some of this history can still be seen and touched in, for example, Malacca, and other impacts of this history can still be heard in these kinds of stories within other parts of Malaysia. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the information and stories I shared in this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe to my channel because I upload videos every week. For now, this is it. We'll say bye-bye and have a wonderful day.